Steph Brown of Steph Brown Films. Today's video diary entry will be about gardening. It is middle of April 2016 on the west coast. We had a massive El Nino, which means that we're going to get summer early. It's going to be hot, it's going to be dry, which means that although it is definitely time to transplant these plants here that I have, I also need to put them in such a place and in such a way that I can cover them with a greenhouse pop tank that I've got in case it does another cold snap. The chances of that happening are pretty low right now, but it could happen. So let's get started. Got my knee pad here, which will be very, very necessary because I'm going to be kneeling almost this entire video. These will be for specific tomato plants. So very specific tomato plants can grow into these. And then for the more generic tomato plant, got this 5-gallon generic bucket, the easy tomato plants. So all of these are very thirsty. I'm going to get them a drink right now. A potting medium is best as peat moss and perlite. So this will help keep the moisture inside of the containers so it doesn't lose the nutrients and moisture as quickly as it would if it were simply soil. Haven't really tried this before, but I did a lot of research and I will try to keep an updated report on the description of this video to let you know if I killed everything. I have killed many plants. But let's give this a try. Okay, so got my pot here. I'm going to fill it with as much peat moss as I can. I'm not sure if I have enough peat moss here, but we'll see. Oh, put my gloves on. And apparently school just got out, so that was that big noise earlier, all that road traffic, and right now you can hear one of my neighbors playing with a basketball. I will try to talk loud enough that the camera can pick up what I'm saying. So I'm using a scooper. It's came with one of the coffee machines I got a while ago. I don't use it for coffee, so it's perfect for scooping up dirt. Gets me a lot at one time, and it's all glass, tempered glass, so it really digs into the dirt very well and easily. According to a book called Vertical Gardening, ideally you would have 1 part peat moss, 1 part perlite, and 1 part compost. I don't have any compost right, so I'm not going about it the way it really ought to be done. But this has worked for the herb garden in kitchen and has worked to start a chili plant, which is also in the kitchen. So it seems to be good enough. Ideally you would have compost. Well, I've got this about half full, a little more than half full. And now I'm going to add some perlite, an entire layer of perlite in here. This stuff is really, really light, fine, dusty, and is easy to just work with. Just mix it in a little bit, but I'm going to put more peat moss in here so it doesn't need to be mixed too much. There we are. Some more peat moss. Alright, the peat moss is close to the brim. There's about an inch or two of headroom. And I'll need that to be able to bury the tomato plant. I'm going to sprinkle a little more perlite onto here. I got the Miracle Grow perlite because I picked this up in the winter time, and at that time the only perlite that was available was Miracle Grow. I'm sure now I can get like an entire cubic foot for the price that I paid for this, but you know, it really does work. The plants love this stuff. So anyway, a sprinkle of perlite on top, and now we have to put the correct tomato plant into here. 4 pots. Tomatoes have very short, long roots. So for a potted plant, you want to use one that use a tomato that will mature early, so that it doesn't need as deep of roots as it would if it matured later in the year. The kinds of the Can 100, these are cherry tomatoes. They do very well in pots. So I could do that one. Also have 62 days. This is the one I'm going to use. Is called the Champion. Bigger pot and get an early girl. So Champion is the name of this tomato. It is a plump little guy. 6 to 7 ounce tomatoes with tasty flavor. And only 62 days to mature, which is great. So it's already probably a quarter of the way there, and it didn't need much more than this little pot, which means that when it is fully mature, it should fit this pot just right. Okay, so first thing to do is cover it into its new soil. And the starter pot inside of its new pot. Now water all up in the well I just made. Flip them over gently. Tomatoes are very, very easily harmed. Not the strongest plant. Well, just collapsed. Oh, here. See how he's drooping over to one side? That is because his roots are very, very shallow. I'm going to pluck off the bottom stem. And that bottom stem was only a leaf or two. And then I'm going to bury it all the way to the first mature stem. Completely buried. That stem is now going to turn into roots. That's how it works. You can plant a stem of a tomato plant and it will become a tomato plant. You don't necessarily need seeds. I don't quite know how that works. I've just heard about it. I haven't tried it. Should try it this year. Anyway, oh, there we go. I cut to there. Now it is covered to the first mature stem, but this stem is now way too close to the ground, so I have to remove that. And stop circulation. My other camera just stopped. So pinching it off helps stop the circulation in the area, and now I can bury it. Now it was buried to that first mature stem, and I removed that first mature stem because it was too close to the ground. If the tomato hits the ground, then it is prone to get fungus and other diseases. So keep the stems away from the earth and be sure to bury the starter. We've dug out a hole, well for the plant to fit with its starter pot, and then remove the bottom leaves, then buried to the top, the first mature stem, remove the first mature stem, and now we are ready to stake. It is important to stake when it's brand new to the pot, because you don't want to accidentally stab the roots when it's grown. Stake it before it's grown. So about 2 inches away from the plant. I know that's how big the starter pot was, so I know that I'm clear from its roots. And there we go. So now, as the plant grows, I can tie it off. There we go. So one pot done. Next I'll show you the other small pot and perlite like I did for the other. This combination of just perlite and peat moss is also working for some garlic and wildflowers that I planted in some pots. So yes, if you just can't get a hold of some quality compost, at least get some good quality peat moss and perlite and you ought to be okay, at least from my experience. Although the year is still young, we'll see how it all works out. really it is made for a container. This is a plump tomato, not a cherry tomato, but it is not that big. It is I think it's about 5 ounces. It doesn't say on here, but decent sized tomato. And the main thing is this is not a climbing sort of tomato. It is a bush, so it doesn't have as deep of roots. So for a very small pot like this, it should fit. Dig a well, put it in, water liberally. Upside down. Right in here. Again, remove the bottom leaves by pinching. Pinch, pinch. And bury the tomato all the way to the first mature stem. As you can see, the stem is all the way up here. But that's the one that's going away. Now that will become all roots. And this one does not need to be staked. It does need some more peat moss. It's not enough. Two tomatoes in pots.